And hello again, everyone. I'm Chris Lincoln. Welcome to Oklahoma Sportscene, our statewide show. All kinds of sports interviews and features for you. A great show lineup for you today. Take a look at our SEC Media Days just completed last week in Atlanta, Georgia. 4 days of intense interviews with the 16 SEC teams. We'll be joined by Mason Young. He's the OU beat reporter for the Tulsa World. He was in Atlanta for all 4 days. Has some insight for us. Also, we'll hear from Sooner coach Brent Venables. Chris Van Dine, he is the SEC editor for Phil Steele's Preview College Football magazine. He has his take on the SEC and where he thinks the Oklahoma Sooners fit in. It may surprise you. Barry Tramel, our Tulsa World Sports senior columnist, has his thoughts on SEC football and the Sooners this year, as well as Oklahoma State football at the Big 12 in the future for head coach Mike Gundy. And Tulsa Oilers professional football league team is headed to the playoffs for the first time in the franchise's history. We'll be joined by the voice of the Oilers, Luke Hamilton, to talk about the season and the playoffs coming up for the Oilers. But first, let's take a look at our Tulsa World Hot Topics. Golf's fourth and final major, the 153rd Open, played over the Royal Port Rush course in Northern Ireland, was dominated by world number one Scottie Scheffler at 17 under par, winning his fourth major by 4 shots. Scheffler has now won the Masters twice and just added the PGA and Open this season. He's earned just over $19.2 million in 2025, just over halfway through the season. American golfers, by the way, took the top 3 spots at the Open, with Scheffler, followed by Harris English and a former OU Sooner, Chris Gottra. Another great sign that football is near. All 32 NFL pro teams have started their training camps. The Detroit Lions, the Los Angeles Chargers, the first to start last week, since they'll be playing in the Hall of Fame game. That's coming up the 31st of the month in Canton, Ohio. The regular season kicks off with the defending Super Bowl champion Philadelphia Eagles against the Dallas Cowboys. That's in the primetime kickoff game Thursday, September the 4th. Then the Kansas City Chiefs start their season the next night on Friday the 5th in Brazil. They'll take on the Chargers. Tulsa's indoor pro football team, the Oilers, clinched their first ever playoff spot with a 47-38 win over Jacksonville last Saturday night at the BLK Center. The new quarterback, Sam Castanova, threw for 7 touchdowns as Tulsa finished the regular season with a 3-year franchise best home record of 6-2. Regular indoor season ends this Saturday, the 26th. Tulsa travels to Quad City. Luke Hamilton, the voice of the Tulsa Oilers, will be joining us later on in the show. FC Tulsa, for the first time in their history, moved into first place in the United Soccer League's Western Conference. After last week's 2-1 home win over Monterey Bay FC, then this past Saturday, they traveled to Kentucky for a match with Louisville City FC. They earned another point with a 1-1 draw, both goals coming in extra time. FC Tulsa is on the road again this week, with a match Saturday, the 26th in Indianapolis, for returning home to One Oak Field to host the Loudoun United FC Club on Friday. That's August the 1st. Coming off the Texas League's 4-day All-Star break, the Tulsa Drillers, AA baseball team of the Los Angeles Dodgers, continue their 9-game homestand this week at One Oak Field, playing the Springfield Cardinals through this Sunday the 27th. All kinds of special promotions, a lot of fireworks coming up at One Oak Field, and road trips coming up for the Drillers to Midland and Corpus Christi, Texas, to end the month. Following Major League Baseball's All-Star break, the second half of the season is underway. Las Vegas odds have the LA Dodgers strong favorites to represent the National League in the World Series this fall. The New York Yankees and the Detroit Tigers right now are currently equal at 7-1 odds to win the American League and go to the World Series. And the NBA champion Oklahoma City Thunder's superstar guard Shai Gilgeous-Alexander picks up another honor at the July 16th ESPY Awards when SGA was named the 2025 Best Male Athlete of the Year. Shai Gilgeous, the NBA scoring champion, regular season and championship finals MVP, beat out LA Dodgers slugger Shohei Ohtani, Buffalo Bills quarterback Josh Allen, and Super Bowl champion running back Saquon Barkley of the Philadelphia Eagles for the award. And here is your first look at the new $1 billion arena for the Oklahoma City Thunder, set to open for the 28-29 NBA season. The new arena is expected to have seating for about 17,000, slightly smaller than the current 18,203 capacity of the Paycom Center, but with bigger seats, thank you, and designed for NBA play with spectators getting a much closer view of the floor. Demolition is already underway at the future site in downtown OKC. It's located between E.K. Gillard and Sheridan and Reno and Robinson Boulevards. Construction will be starting in 2026. Come back. The Florida Oklahoma sports scene as we talk football in the SEC. After we get back from this break.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
Pitch, Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball, fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Welcome back to Oklahoma Sports Scene. We're getting closer and closer to football season now. In fact, game day of college football, the first Saturday, will start in 28 days, just 4 weeks from this Saturday. The Big 12 has completed its media days. This past week, the Southeastern Conference had their 4 days of press gatherings in Atlanta, Georgia, to meet with the press, the 16 teams, coaches, and key players. And also there was OU beat writer for the Tulsa World, Mason Young. Mason, it's your first time with us on Oklahoma Sports Scene, so give us your background.
Yeah, so I'm originally from Oklahoma City. Grew up, born and raised here. Went to OU games as a little kid. And when I was going through high school, I kind of figured out towards the end, okay, I pay attention to sports. I play fantasy football. I watch copious hours of ESPN and MLB Network and all these things. Why don't I get into sports journalism? And so I started writing for the student newspaper at my high school as a senior, and then it was just pretty natural to go to OU. It was 25 minutes down the road, and the resources of their journalism school are incredible. Really had some great opportunities and some chances to learn there. And then while I was a student at OU, got an internship with the Tulsa World. And then 3 years later, after I graduated, they hired me to come back and cover OU. And so this is now going into my 3rd season on the OU beat for the Tulsa World, and looking forward to another great fall.
Hi, Mason. What are your overall impressions just back from 4 days of media days in Atlanta with the SEC? What are your overall impressions of the Southeastern Conference for 2025?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's going to be a league that's every bit as competitive as it always is. I mean, talking to some of the national media there, they were very high on OU, but then you look at the SEC poll that came out, and OU's ranked 10th in the SEC, or predicted to finish 10th in the league, and that just shows you the competitive depth of the league. I mean, I think without a doubt that they're going to be successful in getting as many teams into the college football playoff as they want to, and as ESPN wants for those ratings and whatnot.
Well, Ben Venables, of course, starting his 4th season, head coach, 22-17 overall record, a couple 6 and 7 seasons, 0-3 in bowl games, and that doesn't cut it really for OU. How much pressure is Brent under this fall?
Yeah, it's a hot seat. There's no denying that. Certainly, he has to win. I mean, the offense has to be significantly better than it was last year. You're looking at what was one of the worst offenses in the entirety of college football. So changes coordinators, bringing in Ben Arbuckle from Washington State, bringing in John Mateer to play quarterback, also from Washington State. And Brent Venables is staking a lot of faith in a 29-year-old offensive coordinator and a quarterback that's only played 1 year in against the Mountain West, no less. to be able to turn this thing around. But I think the chips are especially down with Joe Castiglione, on his way out as OU athletic director, because while he hired Brent Venables, I don't know that he'll necessarily have the say in whether or not he stays or goes after this year.
Well, it's interesting. OU had started in that game, the bowl game, Armed Forces Bowl. They lost 21-20, lost to Navy. It was a disaster. But their top 48 players, and 24 were freshmen. They come back with 8 starters on offense, 8 on defense. And before we go on further, let's hear some of the comments from Brent Venables now from SEC Media Day. Here's the Sooners head coach.
Top to bottom, we've made great gains in the weight room with building more mass, improving our strength, the point of attack. We needed to do that. We had a lot of freshmen that played a year ago in our bowl game, and our top 48 players on offense and defense and the 2 deep. 24 of them were freshmen, and so we needed to become more functionally strong and again be a better point of attack team. Our defense was pretty solid in that space. Offensively, we struggled moving people like we need to in this conference, and it's a conference, in my opinion, that's made up of the lines of scrimmage. But we have improved our strength. We've gotten faster. We're more explosive. Our acceleration numbers, and I'm not here gassing and just reaching for anything. I want to quantify a lot of hard work that our guys have put in over the last several months. But I think the last 2 years combined, you look at the total number of snaps in college football, we have some of the top numbers when it comes to playing freshmen and sophomores. And so I really believe the experience that's returning along with the new additions is going to put together a great product here this fall. And I believe they have what it takes to claw our way back to where I believe Oklahoma belongs. The expectations here and in the locker room are to win at the very highest level and to compete for a championship. That's always been the way it is here at the University of Oklahoma, and we embrace those standards and expectations of excellence.
Mason, didn't sound like you convinced many of the SEC media people. You mentioned they're 10th of 16 teams in the preseason poll.
Yeah, I think it's some of the reasons I outlined. I think people from around the country don't necessarily know what to make yet of Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer with the limited tape that's there from Washington State last year. Some people like Todd McShay and Jordan Rogers and Chris Doring and whoever, all these national media, they think Mateer is going to be exceptional and win the Heisman. And then there's other people from around the SEC footprint that have several quarterbacks ahead of him, whether it's Garrett Nussmeier at LSU or Lenoris Sellers at South Carolina or definitely Arch Manning at Texas. Yeah. So I think it's just I think honestly the national media are higher than the local media on OU. Like I think that we're all tempering our expectations because of what we've watched the last 3 years and some really bad football. And I think that that's true for the beat writers and columnists in other SEC markets as well. They don't really know what to make of OU, so they're tempering expectations.
Well, let's break down this SEC poll. Take a look at the preseason poll. Texas, boy, a strong number one, 44. They had 96 first-place votes. Georgia distant second with 44 first-place votes. That was interesting. OU did receive 3 first-place votes in the conference.
Yeah, it wasn't for me. I can tell you that. But Texas, yes, the expectations for them are exorbitant. I think they also had the most players on the All SEC preseason teams. I think 13 Texas players on those teams, and I think Alabama was second with 11. So obviously, very high expectations for Texas this year. Some people think that maybe they'll be better with Arch Manning under center versus Quinn Ewers. I do kind of wonder about their offensive and defensive lines. I think there's some turnover there, and I think that could either go really well or really poorly for them in terms of the restructure of those groups. And then the Georgia situation, I think that kind of makes sense to me. I think Kirby Smart actually is kind of telegraphing that they might be taking a step back a little bit from where they've been in the past couple of years. They're young. They've got a lot of freshmen and sophomores, and so I think potentially we could see them maybe not quite be at their peak this year.
Mason Young, the OU beat writer for the Tulsa World. And Mason, you've got more experience now than most of the front office people in Oklahoma. I was looking at this, that Randall Stevenson, former AT&T CEO, is now the chairman of football. Then they hired Jim Nagy as the general manager of football to kind of run the contracts and NIL and all that stuff. Then Jonathan Gress is the new athletic trainer because of all the injuries last year. And, of course, Joe Castiglione leaving. So big shakeup at the top of OU athletics.
Yeah, I think that's just kind of the natural order of life, right? When change happens, it can often be wholesale and large scale.
Yeah.
And so obviously OU decided in preparing for the revenue sharing era that they felt like the best course of action was to build out a full NFL style front office.
Right.
And I think that was a good idea. And just in the conversations that I've had with Jim Nagy, I think he's going to do a really good job of evaluating talent and finding pieces that can help OU win. The Randall Stevenson piece of this is really interesting. I'm not sure who made the call, whether it was Joe Castiglione or it was President Harris to bring him in, but his influence inside the Barry Switzer Center has grown very quickly to the point that not only does he have what seems to be administrative supervision over football, but he's also going to be the one leading the search for the next athletic director. So it'll hopefully be interesting to catch up with him at some point and see what all his plans are and what he's got in mind for the future of OU football. The Jonathan Gress thing, as you mentioned, tons of injuries last year. Top 5 receivers out for most of the year. Also tons of injuries on the offensive line. Sounds like nobody was let go from the OU medical staff last year, but this is also sort of a restructure. They wanted to bring someone in with NFL experience that knows how to handle things from the medical standpoint as college football is becoming increasingly professionalized. So that's in place. They feel good about where their medical staff is at going into this season. Hopefully less injuries for them is their goal. And then it'll be fascinating to see what the last, few months of Joe Castiglione's tenure are like. He's got some big projects that he wants to finish. OU fans want a new baseball stadium. They also would like to have a new basketball stadium if it can get pushed through all the city ramifications here in Norman. So we'll see what he's able to accomplish to kind of add to his already incredible legacy here at the end.
Finally, Mason, is OU better prepared for their second season in the SEC?
I gotta think so because now they've seen what it's like. They've got the picture. This defense has played against SEC offenses and knows the style and knows what they're trying to do and has had success. It's a defense that obviously is losing Billy Bowman and Danny Stutzman, but brings back a ton of experience with guys like Kip Lewis, Grayson Halton, Robert Spears Jennings, R. Mason Thomas. So I think you got to feel good about that. And I just think that Ben Arbuckle and John Mateer have really brought a fresh vision for what this offense could be. It seemed like the Seth Luttrell offense last year and Jackson Arnold being inexperienced at quarterback and combined with all the injuries, it wasn't always clear what they were trying to do. And I think that the new guys on offense have, like I said, brought in a fresh vision and really, I think, restored the confidence of the team around them. And I think that can lead to really good things this fall.
Mason Young, the OU beat writer for the Tulsa Oilers. Thanks for joining us, Mason. Look forward to your reports throughout the season. Thanks again for being with us on Oklahoma Sports Scene.
Of course. Thank you.
I will be right back, and we'll have more SEC talk with Chris Van Dine. He is the SEC editor for Phil Steele's Football Preview magazine. That's straight ahead after this timeout.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family-owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's Formal Wear and Fine Clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
You can tell we're getting closer and closer to football season when the preseason magazines hit the stands. The one everybody's been waiting for is Phil Steele's College Preview 25 edition. It's considered the Bible for all of us in the industry. All kinds of facts, figures, stats, more than you ever need to know about all the college football teams. But it's the best. We're joined by his guy who does the SEC editing for his magazine, Chris Van Dine. We started with Chris with this question. What's your overview of the Southeastern Conference for 2025?
Well, it's going to be very competitive again. You have the powers that have been there the last few years. You know, we really feel that Georgia has a lot of talent coming back. They did lose a lot in the draft, but the schedule plays better for them this year. You have big question marks with Texas. They have obviously immense talent, but you have a starting quarterback who is a big name, but we've not really seen a whole lot of him yet. Alabama has a lot of talent as well. And, another question mark at quarterback. Jalen Milroe's gone, but they do have a talented roster, including a lot of defensive guys that are coming back from last year's team that we think could elevate them. And then we really like Oklahoma. Some of the changes they made, you're bringing in a quarterback and an offensive coordinator together. We love when we see a team who, if you're gonna make changes in the offense, you're gonna bring in new coordinator. It's awesome when you can have a quarterback who has played in that system like John Mateer has, and you bring in an experienced running back like Jaden Ott. You have a talented defense, a top 10 defense like they had last year. We know about some of the guys on that defense, like R. Mason Thomas and Kip Lewis. So they have a lot of guys coming back from that defense. So we really like the Oklahoma team as a whole, and the schedule plays better for them this year as well. And hopefully they stay healthier.
Yeah, your boss, Phil Steele, said in fact he picked Oklahoma as his number one surprise team in the nation this year.
Yes, as in a team that he thinks can make a run into the semifinals, is a team outside that, top 10 before the season starts. Definitely thinks Oklahoma has a shot at that because of some of the things I mentioned. And the big thing is health, because last year you didn't really get a good gauge of how good Oklahoma was because they were rarely playing with any of their wide receivers. They were rarely playing with any of their offensive line was banged up. So, the cohesiveness on the offensive line and having their receivers like Deion Burks back healthy would be a big deal for Oklahoma. And you got to like that team coming back with John Mateer, who changes the offense, more dynamic, dual threat quarterback. And you have an offensive coordinator who's going to be a little more explosive.
Chris Van Dine is the SEC editor for Phil Steele's College Football Preview 25 magazine. Phil, the debate continues. Who's the best, SEC or Big Ten? And SEC's kind of had a little jolt the last couple of years. The Big Ten has won the last two national championships, and SEC has not made the finals after being so dominant. My gosh, we're 6 of the first 11 years, it was SEC.
Well, we still give, as a whole, the conference, we give a lean to the SEC. You've got, obviously, it's top heavy with Georgia, Texas, Oklahoma, Alabama. But I ask you, who's the easy game in the SEC this year? Because even Vanderbilt, who's been the proverbial doormat of the SEC, Diego Pavia comes in and changes that whole system, that whole program in a year. And Clark Lee's doing a really good job there. Has taken a lot of pride in Vanderbilt and is insistent that he's going to win and actually turn them into a contender. So, that is not an easy game for anybody playing Vanderbilt. Mississippi State's in the second year under Jeff Lebby, a guy that has an explosive offense. They bring Blake Shapen back at quarterback, who was playing pretty well before he got hurt last year. A lot more experience on that team as well. Kentucky, towards the bottom of the SEC, is always a physical team to deal with, capable of beating some good teams. So I think the bottom of the SEC, I do favor a little bit over the bottom of the Big Ten. You look at, the bottom of the Big Ten, Purdue, Maryland, Northwestern, kind of, programs that have hit a rough patch, especially Purdue. That was really rough last year. And then, the top of the SEC and the Big Ten, it's close. Ohio State is a little bit down this year. I do think there's more depth at the top of the SEC versus the Big Ten. Phil does think that Penn State is capable of winning a national championship. That is the team he picked to win it this year. So, you do have the cream of the crop at the top of the Big Ten. Ohio State lost a lot. Oregon lost a lot. So this might be Penn State's year. If they're ever going to make a jump, this could be the year. But we still favor as a conference, as a whole, we take the SEC's depth over the Big Ten. But you could see, again, the third year in a row, we could see a Big Ten team finish as national champion.
Chris, we have a lot of Arkansas Razorback fans in our area here. And how do you guys project the Hogs after their 7-6 season and a bowl, their King Liberty Bowl last year?
Well, Sam Pittman's in a crucial year. They did reach a bowl game. You mentioned that they won a dramatic game last year. You get Taylon Green in the second year under Bobby Petrino, so you do like that. Some question marks on defense. They lost some very good players on defense. Landon Jackson's gone. So, you have some concerns there. Schedule is tough as usual. We expect them, to be a dog in quite a few games. But, that is one good thing for Arkansas is the fact that Sam Pittman's teams always seem to perform well as an underdog. They were an underdog last year in 9 games, which, he pulled 3 upsets out of those. It really depends on Taylon Green and how he progresses in his second year in Bobby Petrino's offense. He does have a veteran offensive line. Some concerns at wide receiver. They did lose Andrew Armstrong, who was a 1,000-yard wide receiver. So they're going to need someone to step up at receiver. But they are capable of pulling some upsets, and we definitely think that Arkansas is a team that will probably reach a bowl game. They'll have to pull a lot of upsets to get any higher, into that contender mix in the SEC. But they do have some talent, and Taylon Green, I'd fully expect him to have a better year.
Briefly to finish up here, Chris, I get your thoughts before we leave you on the ever-changing landscape of college football. The transfer portal keeps moving around. The name likeness. Our friend Barry Switzer, we had Coach Switzer on last week. Barry said, "Coach, you know what NIL means?" I said, "What's that, Coach?" Said, "Now it's legal."
That's good. That's good. I'd heard that one. That's really good.
Yeah.
Good job, Coach Switzer. It's changing constantly, and it's almost like we just changed everything all at once and didn't really have a plan. And I think they need to come up with a plan. They need to slow this down a little bit, because it's unrealistic for these coaches to continue to patch rosters together year in, year out, losing 50 to 60% of their players. And I do think the cohesive rosters, the ones where you see teams that don't use the portal as much and use it to simply supplement the talent they already have, teams like Clemson, teams like Iowa, we think they could have a little more success because of the cohesiveness of their roster and the team atmosphere that they build. So I would like to see, the cat's out of the bag, and these things are gonna stay. But maybe one portal, maybe a cap on NIL, something that will limit the ability to for the chaos that's going on right now. Yeah. And hopefully, we see some rules in the next few years, because right now it just seems like it's the Wild West, and everyone's kind of doing their own thing, and and it also has created a bit of an imbalance in college football, where you see teams like Texas and Ohio State pouring a ton of money into NIL, and some teams are not on that level playing field, and it's already hard enough for them in college football. So we'll see what happens in the future. It's one thing's for sure: change is certain.
Well, we're pretty much done with all the talking. Let's get to some football now, Chris. Thanks for joining us on Oklahoma Sportscene. We're going to have your boss, Phil Shields, on next week on you're talking about your 31st edition of what is the Bible, the best there is in preview magazines. Chris, thanks for joining us. Right back with more on Oklahoma Sportscene.
Thank you, Chris.
The Tulsa World senior sports columnist Barry Tramel joins us. He'll be talking about the Big 12, his pick for the Big 12 champions, and his thoughts on the future for head coach Mike Gundy of the Cowboys. That's straight ahead, right here on Oklahoma Sportscene. Be right back.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Pitch, Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball, fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
Glad you're back with us here on Oklahoma Sportscene. Talk all kinds of football. The season gets closer and closer. We're joined now by Tulsa World sports columnist Barry Tramel. Talk to Barry about his predictions for both the Big 12 and the SEC this season.
Well, we got a league that you can sort of figure out and a league that you sort of can't. If somebody wants to know what's going to happen in Big 12 football, I do not know. Hand me some dice. I'll roll some dice and make my picks on whatever the dice tell me. I mean, you look back to 2024, the Big 12 preseason poll, and then look at the 2024 standings. Basically, turn it upside down.
Yeah,
basically turn it upside down. So it's a cool league, the Big 12. Wonderful fun. You don't know what's going to happen. So who knows? Who knows? Oklahoma State is 0-9 a year ago. I would have said there's a million times better chance they go 9-0 than 0-9, and yet they go 0-9. So it's a rebuilding season. That's the good news is it's a rebuilding season for most teams every year in the portal era. So Mike Gundy could produce a good team. It's just a mystery. A lot of new players, new quarterbacking. We just don't know. So it's just the kind of Big 12 football is the kind of entity you buckle in and just see what happens. It's like going to the movie and you don't know the plot. Everything that's going to happen is a surprise.
And with that, you kind of came up with your first selections of Texas Tech to win the Big 12 championship. And BYU is maybe a big contender, but they don't have a quarterback all of a sudden.
Yeah, BYU lost its quarterback, Jake Retzloff. Got into some trouble with the BYU honor code, is transferring. Here's what I find interesting about the Big 12 is they seem to have a new, it's a little bit like we talked about with the NBA, a new champion every year. 24 Arizona State, 23 was Texas, 22 was Kansas State, 21 was Baylor, 20 was Oklahoma. 5 different champs the last 5 years. And, oh, by the way, we've got at least 2 other members of the conference that have played in the college football playoff during those 5 years, Cincinnati and TCU. So it's a wide open range. But if you're looking for new blood, I think Tech is the one to step in there. They've done a great job with the transfer portal. Had a pretty good team anyway. We saw what they did with the softball. We've seen what they do in the basketball with regenerating on the portal. So I think Tech is a pretty solid pick to win it. But it could be anywhere. Arizona State was picked either 15th or 16th last year, depending on which poll you liked. They won the whole thing. So you got the Dion factor coming in. It's just and the cool thing about Big 12 football is they give us a sneak peek on August 23rd. The first big game of the season is Iowa State, Kansas State, and that's a great matchup. Those teams figure to be good, figure to be contenders, and we get to watch it. Farmageddon. It's ironic they're taking Farmageddon to the home of the Irish Irish potato famine. So I mean, I don't know what else you could get more cool than that. Taking the farmers to Ireland, but that's going to be a fun game to kick us off in football 2025.
Well, Barry, here's a question everybody's asking, and nobody can answer right now. Where does Oklahoma State, with basically an all-new roster, basically all-new coaching staff besides Coach Gundy, where do they fit into the Big 12 picture this fall?
Yeah, the answer is nobody knows. I'm skeptical that the Cowboys can be a Big 12 force in 2025. I just don't see the ball players that you need. Now, doesn't mean they're not there. I just don't see them. It's a massive transfer portal team. They're going to be having all kinds of new players. The Cowboys have a pretty experienced secondary. So we'll know most of the secondary, but the O-line, quarterbacking, the receivers, it's just a bunch of new players. And we'll just have to see. That one of the problems you have in Big 12 football, like OSU, we don't know if OSU has a tough conference schedule or not, because you don't know who's good. In the SEC, we sort of know who's good. We can't tell. So we'll get a good read on OSU early. They go to Oregon second week of the season. The Ducks will be good. They will be loaded. If Oklahoma State can go to Eugene, Autzen Stadium, and play competitively, they don't have to win. If they can go there and play competitively, I think it's a very, very good sign that they can be competitive in the Big 12.
Well, Barry Tramel, our senior columnist at Tulsa World. Barry, what's your evaluation now of Mike Gundy as he starts his third decade, his 21st season as head coach? Is he up for this challenge?
Well, I don't know. Here's Gundy's problem, and it's a problem a lot of coaches have. They've been doing things, and this is particularly older coaches, experienced coaches. Kyle Whittingham at Utah, who was hired about 15 days before Gundy. They ranked 2 and 3 in longevity among major college football on the job. The ways they've always done things are completely gone. I mean, OSU would go get diamonds in the rough, develop them for 2-3 years, and then they'd be 2 or 3 year starters and really good players. And development in college football is at risk. It's very difficult to develop guys because people don't stay as long.
No.
And if a guy gets antsy, he can go transfer either to a bigger. If he gets to play and show some things, the big boys come after him. If he doesn't play, gets a little down, he can go play at a smaller school. So it's tough to keep continuity. The development angle is not what it used to be. Gundy's having to change his ways. He's having to go more into the portal. They're going to have to play more young recruits, I think, than they like to. And it's an adjustment, and it did not go well. We've been morphing into this. And OSU had a really good year in 23, made the Big 12 championship game, but not so much in 24, or not at all. So I think it's a big year for Mike Gundy. Not necessarily that he might lose his job, because I don't know that OSU can afford to pay off a coach. I don't know of many that can, frankly, in these days. But how much does he want? How much does he want to fight this battle? If he finds the way, then I think he could be reinvigorated. But if he has another frustrating year, I could see Mike Gundy saying, "I don't know what to do. This is not the kind of football coaching. This is not the kind of program building that I've done. I'm at a loss." I could see it go either way.
More with Barry Tramel after the break as he talks about the Sooners and their future in the SEC. That's next, right here on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Be right back.
Pitch, Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball, fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories at our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Here's part two now with Barry Tramel. He talks about the Sooners and the SEC.
Well, there's things to like about the Sooner program, there's things not to like also. 2 6 and 7 seasons in a 3-year span is not to like. But he has elevated the defense, and Brent is doing something. He's sort of swimming against the tide. Brent is retaining players. Most of their best players from the 24 season that were eligible to return did so. That's a remarkable thing for a place like Oklahoma, which did not have a good year. So if you can keep your roster somewhat intact and then bring in portal people like they did, quarterback John Mateer, tailback Jaden Ott, a couple of good receivers, all of a sudden you're looking at a promising year. Now, Oklahoma's primary problem is that the SEC, this is year number 2 of the big entrance penalty, I call it. OU and Texas came into the league together, and they crowned the Longhorns with an easy schedule. They crowned the Sooners with a difficult schedule. Hadn't changed in year 2 because they just flipped sites, not opponents. So it's a very difficult conference schedule. Oklahoma could have a very good team and go 8-4. They all, they conceivably could get to 9-3. I don't see them getting into the 10-2 territory for the playoff contention. I think it's too tough of a schedule. But 8-4, 9-3 is possible, and I think that would be a very good sign that things are looking up in Norman. The schedule, in theory, unless the SEC changes everything dramatically, eases up in 2026. So the arrow could be shooting up. But OU needs John Mateer to be a big-time quarterback. That's number 1. Ben Arbuckle, the offensive coordinator who brought Mateer from Washington State, he needs to produce, get that offense back in gear. We don't have to worry about the defense. Brent Venables' defense is going to be very good. It'll keep OU in games. If that offense can produce, they can win a bunch.
Your thoughts about how OU has handled the new NIL era and adding a general manager's big staff, and Jim Nagy and his staff, and how they're doing, what the impact's going to be on Oklahoma football now and in the future.
Well, I mean, it looks good to me. Who knows is the answer. Yeah. It's uncharted territory. In some ways, it's we're back in the 19th century in Oklahoma territory, and it's just having a land run, and everybody just go and make your own way. And people are doing it different ways. Some people are modeling the OU model to some degree. Some are not. Kirby Smart at Georgia, he's still his own general manager, sort of like Bill Belichick was with the Patriots. Not saying there's a right way or wrong way. So people are navigating that in different ways, but it is a wholesale change in terms of the recruiting is different. There are people who are doing a massive amount of recruiting who are not the coaches. the talent evaluation, all those things. It is so different from the old days of Lincoln Riley and Bob Stoops and even Barry Switzer back in the days when Jerry Pettibone would, be the ace recruiter and you sort of knew everything that was going on. It's not that way anymore. Everything is there's a lot of negotiations with money, with paying the NIL stuff. So it's a brave new world. Nobody really knows how it will shake out. Nobody knows if it will stabilize. What we're seeing now may not be what we see in 5 years. So you just have to sort of look past that and enjoy the Saturdays and hope your team wins.
Yes, hey, Brad, let's all think about that. Look forward to finally getting this game back on the field, playing some great football. And thanks for joining us talking football on Oklahoma Sports Scene as always. Appreciate it, Barry. Thanks again.
You bet. See you later, Chris.
Tulsa's indoor professional football league team, the Oilers, have made the playoffs for the first time in franchise history. And the voice of the Oilers, Luke Hamilton, joins us with all the details.
Our story, it lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
Founded in 1960, Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing has been dressing gentlemen for over half a century. We are family-owned and operated, offering premium brand tuxedos and accessories in our Tulsa store on South Harvard. Bashira's also does made-to-measure suits, sports coats, dress shirts, and slacks, and a top line of sportswear. We do tailoring on-site to assure the perfect fit so you will look your very best for that special occasion. Ed Bashira's formal wear and fine clothing, an Oklahoma tradition.
Pitch, Casey lines it down the left field line. Drillers win!
Baseball, fireworks, food, and family, it's all in Tulsa at One Oak Field. Score your Drillers season membership today with plans and prices fit for every fan. Whether you want to catch every game or select nights, we know you will have a great time at the ballpark. We're proud to offer a variety of membership options, so don't wait. Contact a Drillers rep who will personally help you find the right plan for you. It's all in Drillville for 2025.
Well, your Tulsa Oilers professional indoor football league team, for the first time in their 3-year franchise history, are in the playoffs. Congratulations to Luke Hamilton, the voice of the Oilers. And Luke, that was some kind of performance in Jacksonville to clinch that historic playoff spot last week.
Yeah, no doubt. It's something that I think we're all glad that we don't have to deal, with a clinching scenario this upcoming weekend, right? We got out of the way and got a win at home and made sure that everybody can breathe easy here now. So a great win against Jacksonville. I mean, this is a team that didn't stop our offense one time the entire game. I mean, we ran out a lot of clock and continued to score all night long. And it's something that the fans deserve more than anybody is this playoff clinching scenario. I mean, there's been so many season ticket holders that have stuck with us since year one. So really nice to see. And head coach Marvin Jones has put in a lot of hard work to turn this program around. And now it's here. It's reality. We'll see postseason.
And it was Tulsa 47, Jacksonville 38. You mentioned they didn't stop the Oilers all night. And what a performance by a new quarterback. Tell us about Sam Castronova, 7 touchdown passes.
Yeah, he's just incredible. This is a guy that hasn't lost in the calendar year 2025. He's coming off of an AF1 season in the Arena Football 1 League where he went undefeated with Albany, and the Firebirds ended up winning the championship as well. I mean, you brought a winner in here to replace TJ Edwards. And I think everybody rallied around that injury with TJ back on the road in Massachusetts. It was a difficult spot to put the team in with how well TJ was performing. And so to be able to somehow find a diamond in the rough like Sam Castronova, it's a rare thing at this time in the calendar year for an IFL team to find a quarterback of his caliber. And with the AF1 season concluding and the IFL season still going on, we got a chance to convince him to come play his ball and finish out his year here. So, a lot of those guys, they can play a full season and call it quits for the year, but Castronova wants to keep playing this season, and he picked Tulsa, and we're really excited about it. He's a great threat through the air. He's really smart on the ground, and Castronova is just an all-around winner.
So, of course, the voice of the Oilers, the call of the game for us this past Saturday night. And take us to the highlights of the game, and what a performance.
Yeah, I mean, I think it was one of those situations where last week in the victory over Massachusetts in double overtime was Castranova's debut, and he was really still fresh with the group, right? I mean, now he's got a full week of practice underneath him. He had a full game at the BOK Center underneath him, and now you knew, okay, he's going to start taking off here. A tremendous start to the game for our group, and despite giving up the first points of the game, we got off to the right start. Something this Oilers team struggled with a little bit this year is having first quarter starts that they really like. They've turned it on in the second half more so. But as I mentioned, this team wasn't stopped. The only time that this Oilers offense didn't score was when the clock hit zero, which ran out of time. So Castronova linking up with his number one target and Isaiah Scott was the biggest storyline, in my opinion, of the game. Isaiah Scott, we picked him up this year. He was the number one target for Castronova in Albany in the AF1. We also were able to pick him up to replace Cole Blackman for the time being, with him being out due to injury. But 2 touchdowns for Scott right out of the gate. The first 2 touchdowns of the day for us were from him. So to get contributions from 2 new guys like that was really special. The ground game was really effective with Jawan Johnson. He had himself a receiving touchdown as well. New faces actually finding a way to be stars in the game is kind of the new storyline for the Oilers. It's something they haven't had in the past at this time of the year. And so to get it now means a lot. You've got an Oilers team that's maybe playing the best offensive game out of anybody in the IFL right now because of Castronova and company. And the defense is right there with everybody. I mean, 38 points against Jacksonville, a team that averages up near 45 a game, and then also only giving up 28 through 2 overtimes to Massachusetts meant a lot to this defense's confidence. So I think you've got both sides of the ball playing really good.
Look, another first for this franchise, the best home record in Oklahoma and Tulsa's Oilers history, 6-2 for the 8-game home schedule. And so the fans get a lot of the credit for that too.
Yeah, they do. I mean, look no further than the last 2 home games. I'll tell you that. I mean, that's the loudest the building has been seemingly in my time here. Maybe with the exception of a couple of those big games with the big crowd numbers, but I mean, we had over 9,000 in the building for this final game. And of course, this is a group that once you give them something to get behind as far as the win-loss totals go, this team has been itching and ready with a fan base to get going in some meaningful football games. So 6-2, I think, has a lot to do with, one, the improvement on the field for sure, but the fans have been the ones that have been consistent since day one. I mean, this team has the potential to be 10-6, but it's got what is a 16-0 caliber fan base. So, I mean, these home games have been great. As we mentioned, a very knowledgeable fan base here in Tulsa that recognized the moment, and they brought it just as much as the players did.
Talk about the final game of the regular season. This Saturday, the 26th, you go to Quad Cities.
Yes, yeah, to Quad City. It'll be the second time in the regular season that we'll go out to Moline, Illinois. So sometimes you get those kind of scenarios. We will have played them 3 times on the season by the end of this week. And, tiebreaker situations could have played a role if Quad City would have lost this past weekend. This was the Tulsa team coming into that game against Jacksonville that still had the potential of coming in first place in the entire Eastern Conference. They needed, of course, Iowa to win over Quad City, and then a head-to-head game with a victory over Quad City for Tulsa this upcoming week would have given them a chance to be tied at 10-6 with Quad City, and they would have the head-to-head tiebreaker. So Iowa ended up coming up just a little bit short of that. So Tulsa guaranteed will be on the road in the first game of the playoffs here this year. So no home game being hosted. The only chance the Oilers have to host a playoff game is to come in third and hope for a 1-4 upset. So that would be in the second round, but Quad City is a dangerous team. It is not like their identity to clinch postseason and then to lay off the gas. This is a Quad City team that's going to bring it just like they have all season long. You're not getting an easy pass. Nobody's going to be worried about keeping guys healthy. Of course, that's always an emphasis, but don't expect this to be a lame duck kind of game. I think it's going to be a true playoff round preview.
We're talking about the IFL East standings, and Quad City 11-4, Green Bay 10-5 at this point. Both have clinched home field, so we know the Oilers will be on the road to start the playoffs.
Yes, yeah. Just as I mentioned, I mean, it's kind of one of those spots where you still don't know who your first round opponent is, but you know what your position is, and your position is to try travel on the road. If the Oilers end up dropping that game in Quad City and Jacksonville picks up a win over Green Bay, you'll see Jacksonville jump into that third spot. The Oilers will have a guaranteed fourth spot. And of course, by default, Quad City would have beaten Tulsa in that scenario, and they would be the first place team. So you'd turn around 1 week later and going from the regular season game on the road against Quad City to having a playoff game on the road against Quad City. Back-to-back matchups against Steamwheelers are very likely potentially in all of this scenario. And so I think that adds fuel to the rivalry. I think it's one of the Oilers' biggest rivals over the years is Quad City during the regular season. And so don't be surprised if that's the case. If the Oilers do have to go on the road and take on a team like Green Bay, I really do see that as an intriguing matchup. It's almost an unstoppable offense that the Blizzard have against one of the best defenses in the league right now in Tulsa. That would be on the road in Green Bay. And it's a tough place to win a ball game, but the Oilers would be looking to do so for what would be the first time ever winning on the road in Green Bay.
Luke Hamilton, the voice of our Tulsa Oilers indoor pro football team heading to the playoffs. Luke, again, congratulations to Marvin Jones, Andy Skirdo, the whole team there. Congratulations. Look forward to the playoffs.
Yes, sir. Thank you, guys. We're excited.
All right. We'll be right back to wrap things up after we take this break.
The Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town, is the only place you can skate like the pros. With 2 rinks, there's always time to strap on the blades and hit the ice. The Wee Street Ice Center at 43rd and Yale is your family fun destination. Try out the game simulator rooms or hit the arcade. When you get hungry, grab a bite at Puck's Sports Bar and Grill with delicious food, great drink specials, and more. It's Midtown Tulsa's coolest entertainment center. Wee Street Ice Center, the coolest place in town. Come get your skate on.
Our story, it lives in Tulsa, where the spirit of the past lives alongside us and urges us on toward a vibrant future. Because our story is still being written. It's the story of Tulsa, told by the journalists who live it and love it. Whether it's covering our rich history, bringing you the hidden gems of the food scene, or following the action in local sports. And here, in the Tulsa world, is where it comes to life.
Indoor football is back, Tulsa, and season tickets are going quick. Don't miss Saturday night entertainment starting as low as $9 a month. The Tulsa Oilers indoor football team kicks off again in March, Saturday nights, 7 p.m. BOK Center. Season tickets are on sale now. Go to TulsaOilersFootball.com. That's TulsaOilersFootball.com. Get your season tickets now. Don't miss your chance to experience the fast-paced, helmet-hitting, pad-popping excitement of professional indoor football. TulsaOilersFootball.com.
Next week, here on Oklahoma Sports Scene, we'll be joined by the man himself, Phil Steele, the editor and publisher of Phil Steele's College Football 25 Preview Magazine, considered the best in the business. He'll talk about all the things SEC and Big 12, his overview of College Football 2025. Don't want to miss that. Phil Steele, guy from Phil Steele Magazine, will be with us on Oklahoma Sports Scene. And he's retired as executive director of the College Football Playoffs, but our friend Bill Hancock is still very active. In fact, he's going to talk to us about the current state of the college football game. It's close to the kickoff of the 2025 season. Then we'll be joined by Bixby Spartans head football coach Lauren Montgomery. He'll talk all things Oklahoma high school football and his championship Spartan team. Then Mike James, executive director of the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame, is going to make the drive over to Oklahoma City to join us on the set here at the Oklahoma Sports Scene. Talk about the upcoming induction of the 25-25 class in the Oklahoma Sports Hall of Fame. All that next week, right here on Oklahoma Sports Scene. Until then, as we always remind you, be a good sport.